Got the 93 LT40 back up in the shop. I'm going to spend a couple hours working on it. What we got to do next is figure out where I left off on the wiring and button that up. Have to move the alternator to the other side, which would be to the right as you're looking at it, and put on some adapter plates. But we're making progress. Pile of parts. Some we're going to use, some we won't. Got the wiring buttoned up for the blade guide arm. And got our adapter brackets in place. I think I have all the wiring out of the way and ready to go. Got the new engine rigged and ready to lift out of the box. The little lift points, oh, you can't see them hardly. Pretty cheesy, but hey, I guess it doesn't weigh that much. Up we go. Hang on. There you are. Kohler. Pretty nifty. Got the engine bolted down and we're ready to reinstall the alternator, and ran into a problem. We'll go over to the directions, show you. And the parts manual is showing the alternator hanging on the right hand side of the engine as you stand at the operator station. Come over to the directions and the alternator is right next to the starter, hanging on a bracket. Come over to the engine and there's no bracket to hang it on. There was no bracket in the box or anything. So I went ahead and put the alternator back where it was, and the belt is the correct length, and so it will tighten up. The pulley's misaligned, but we can correct that. We just have to slide it on the shaft about a ½ inch. No big deal. But it's obvious the directions are wrong for this engine and this year machine. Well, we're ready to move the pulley in on the shaft to help align the belt right. I don't know if you've ever seen these pulleys move, but you take your two locking bolts out and you use them as pushers. And on your American-built engine, they claim it's American-built, it's Kohler. It's got a Korean starter. Right there it says Korea. These bolts are metric. So we got metric bolts on our American engine. Basically, you just turn these in just a little bit at a time, and it forces this locking hub out. There it went. It's got a little split in there. You can see that. I'm having troubles pointing at the same time. So we'll scooch that out. This is getting simpler here. There, did you see it move? So now we can slide everything in. Wow, that's about too much. So I'll come over here and we'll try to sight it the best we can. I might just get a big long straight edge here in a minute. I have an 8-foot straight edge. It's obvious you can't see it, but let me get a straight edge on there, and we'll try to align it the best we can, and then we'll move that woodruff key, tighten it up, and I'll have to consult my owner's manual for the Onan to get the torque specs on these little bolts, unless it's in the fancy Wood-Mizer packet that is giving me misinformation. Okay, I got the pulley slid all the way in on the shaft, as far as it'll go, and it just barely lines up. And I'll get you down there again. You can look. What's in the way here? That's just right on the money, right there. The things I gotta do to do videos. I got my Porter cable light propped up on my Rust Reaper bottle. The other problem I'm seeing is the alternator does not line up 100% straight, which I don't know if you can see that or not. There it is. It's a little bit crooked. So we'll get everything tightened up and then we'll see how it looks. But if I cannot get that straight, it may chew up the alternator belt as time goes by. While I was working on the pulley and the drive belts, I noticed one thing. There is a lot of play, or it seems like a lot of play to me, in the crankshaft, the thrust of it. Hear that? I'm pushing it and I can pull it out with my fingers. And it's going a whole bunch. I'll set you up and maybe you can see it. Bear with me. What do you think of that? Hopefully you could see that. Well, next is to do something with this little weldment. And some of you guys know what this weldment's for, but if you're following the directions that comes with this installation package, there's no mention what this does. We've been sawing for 20 years. We've worked on a lot of different sawmills, and I know exactly what it does. It supports the belt when the engine is idling. What you want to do is push the belt up. When you clutch it, you want to push the belt up like that, and that takes the belt weight off of the pulley so you're not burning the belt. But like I said, in the directions, there's no mention of this bracket, and they don't even give you a bolt to install it. But we'll forge ahead. Got the weldment installed, and you can see we have a big 1/4 inch, maybe even a 3/8 of an inch gap, and the clutch is engaged, so we'll disengage the clutch. You can see how that weldment supports the belt and holds the belt up off that pulley. Now it is touching right here, but it's just touching. It's not like there's a bunch of weight holding it. So that's about as good as can be expected. So we're going to take the big fancy drill bit and correct it.